Hey, my name's Jack. Life used to be pretty carefree for me, but 2 years ago I made a stupid mistake that I'm still paying for today. I'm telling my story because I hope someone listening to this will learn from what I did wrong, so it doesn't have to happen to you. When I was 17, a new student enrolled at my high school. I remember her introducing herself to everyone. Her hair was beautiful, and her smile was amazing. But after we started talking more, I found out that she really likes baseball too. This was huge. Almost none of the girls my age liked baseball, at least the ones I talked to. So this felt like a dream come true. I really liked this girl, and I was starting to feel like she really liked me too, even though I've never been good at knowing how girls feel about me. I was really tearing myself up about her. I wanted to ask her out, but I was scared she'd reject me. Even scarier, though, was the thought of some other guys asking her out first. She and I both loved baseball, but I wasn't actually on the school's baseball team. For a while, I kept having nightmares about her dating one of our school's baseball players. It would have made it so hard to enjoy watching the games. I wish I could be as confident as my mom. Whenever there was someone she wanted to date, she would ask them out without worrying. And I can only remember 1 or 2 times she was told no. After a few months of struggling with myself over this, I finally decided I need to ask out this girl. While I did my homework, having some trouble focusing, Mom came in. It was still early for dinner, so it was unusual for her to interrupt my homework. But I was pretty grateful for having an excuse not to think about my love life or math for a while. Mom had come in to tell me that tonight we'd be having guests over for dinner. She wanted it to be a surprise, so she wouldn't tell me who was coming, but she said she was excited for me to meet them and wanted me to be on my best behavior. I knew she had connections at one of the state colleges around us, so I thought she probably wanted to introduce me to someone who could help me get a really good scholarship deal. I wasn't too excited about it, since I still don't know what I want to get a degree in, but I knew it was pretty important. It wasn't someone from the college, though. Mom had invited over a man from work. She explained that they've been dating for a while now, and that they are getting pretty serious now. I was barely listening. I was more focused on someone else. You see, Mom decided that for my first time meeting her boyfriend, she still wanted it to be a date. So she had him bring over his daughter to keep me occupied while they have a romantic evening. She was a pretty sweet girl. After dinner, we went to my room to play video games while our parents had their date together. She definitely didn't want to play the baseball game I had, but she was excited about one of my racing games. She thought it was so cool that you could build your own car in the game, and she was really interested in the cars I'd built too. After a few hours, we decided to check on our parents. It was getting late, and it seemed strange that the date was still going. That's when we saw them asleep together on the couch, and since we didn't want to wake them up, she wound up sleeping over. I slept on the floor in a sleeping bag, even though she told me it was okay to share the bed since our parents were dating. I told her no. I wanted to be a gentleman. It was still a few days before I had the courage to tell my crush how I felt, but I really think seeing how happy my mom and her boyfriend have together helped me make the move. I was so nervous. My heart was pounding, and I was afraid she'd be grossed out since I was getting a little bit sweaty just thinking about it. But she wasn't grossed out at all. She said she'd been hoping for weeks that I'd ask her out, and that she was starting to fear that I had an eye on another girl in our class instead. Dating my crush was amazing. We went to movies, baseball games, we even had a few romantic dinners together. I wasn't the only one things were turning around for either. At Christmas, my mom's boyfriend proposed to her. They got married in February since they were excited about the chance to spend Valentine's together as husband and wife. I was really happy for them too, until I realized my own plans were in jeopardy now. With my mom getting married, I had to share my room with my new stepsister. What used to be my bed was our bed now, even though it wasn't that big. But this was the senior year for me, and I was planning on spending Valentine's Day alone with my girlfriend. I really thought it would be the perfect time to lose our virginity to each other, but we couldn't do that with my sister at the house. Instead, we went to a crowded theater to watch a romantic movie that neither of us thought was very good. I think my girlfriend was expecting the chance to make love too, because she seemed a little disappointed when the date was over. It bothered me that we couldn't have the special night together that we planned, but feeling like she was disappointed was the worst. I wanted to make it up to her, so I bought her a box of chocolates. My stepsister told me that chocolates alone wouldn't be enough. She said there's nothing more romantic than a duet, and since she was in choir classes, she would be happy to teach me and help me practice. For a whole week, we practiced singing almost every day together. Finally, I felt confident enough to put the plan into action. My sister and I went to my girlfriend's apartment building and took the elevator up. I had the chocolate in my hand, and the only thing I was worried about was whether she'd like the duet. Suddenly, the elevator stopped. I've looked up all kinds of things since then because not a day goes by that I don't think about this moment. Elevators are really carefully designed, but every time you get on, there's a 1 in 100,000 chance that you'll get stuck. I guess that day really wasn't my lucky day. At first, my sister and I panicked. There were 2 elevators in the building, so we were scared that no one would realize one was broken until it was too late. What you're supposed to do when you're trapped like this is push the emergency button to call for help. Even though we were totally freaking out about being trapped in the elevator, it didn't take us long to realize we could just hit the call button ourselves. It didn't work. We heard their emergency phone ring, but no one picked up. At this point, we were really sure no one was coming, and we were convinced that we just weren't getting through on the emergency phone. After a while, we started to get hungry, so we sat down on the elevator floor and ate the chocolate I bought for my girlfriend. It was the only food we had with us in the elevator, and we were afraid we might starve. Laying back on the floor, I decided to get a nap. Staying awake was only making me overthink things, so I thought this would be a great way to pass the time until maybe we could be rescued. When I woke up, though, we were still stuck. It was my sister's idea at first to pick a corner to use as a bathroom. I didn't even want to think about using the bathroom in the elevator. As time went on, and we were forced to keep waiting for rescue, though, I was really starting to feel the pressure. I couldn't take it anymore. I picked a corner and started to relieve myself. I was already feeling so much better. When I looked over, I saw my sister squatting in the opposite corner. It turns out she was holding it in, too. We were both too nervous to go around each other until we really couldn't hold it. We were still relieving ourselves when the doors began to open. My sister and I pulled up our pants and refashioned them, but we were too late. I can only imagine what my girlfriend thought when the handyman finally got the elevator open, and the first thing she saw was the 2 of us getting our pants put back together. When I say I can only imagine, I mean I never got the chance to talk to her about it. She ran right back to her apartment and slammed the door before we had the chance. It was the worst way this trip could have gone. I knocked on my girlfriend's door until her mom told me to leave immediately. I didn't even have the chocolates to make things better.